Welcome to the podcast. If you don't run an agency yet, or you're still kind of figuring out what to sell, this probably isn't for you. Hey, I'm Nick, and on this show, we talk about agency owners and operators that are actually doing real numbers, breaking 100K months, even $1 million months, and how to scale past it. I've built and sold multiple agencies myself, and today we work with companies doing over $100 million in annual revenue combined across them. So there's no get-rich-quick answers here. These are real conversations about what's working, what's breaking, and what it actually takes to grow and scale without losing your mind. So if you're in the game and you're trying to level up, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. New episode, we're talking about profitability. So like the conversation was kind of unfolding organically even before the show around, there's been a couple clients now where they've come in because they have profit issues and we fix it, right? So like 10% profit goes up to 35, 40% profit, etc. Then I tell people like quite commonly, hey, like you got to keep going, because we've basically, the first time around, like really what ends up happening is that we brute force the profitability to happen in a top-down manner, right? So like we go complete top-down. And
Well,
then
I would say, I would add to that, is like, it's not like a forcing function in a bad way. Like, we're literally looking for the biggest leaks of this agency slash business bucket, meaning your agency is more of a value catcher, if you will, and imagine it's a bucket, and there's like all of these leaks. If you patch it the first time, you're gonna like double keep twice as much of the flow in the bucket. But the reason why we start this conversation off the cuff here is because we've had typically when it comes to this, it's usually either a younger agency owner or like a shorter term focus agency owner who's like in pain and they want to get out of that pain right away. And what happens is, after the first like 4 or 5 months working with us, the pain kind of goes away because they can like literally see on their P&L profit go from 10% to 30, sometimes higher, and they're like, hey Nick,
yeah,
we get like a few months of good profit and then it reverts. Why does that happen?
yeah, like I mean, so here's the thing, like, we've talked about this before, and what happens is that we end up kind of, when we put in these new systems, it all works and it's all brand new and shiny. But like, this is what I mean by sort of like forcing it or top downing it, right? Like, we're doing the change management and all this other stuff, but ultimately what ends up happening is that when the systems are new, people adhere to them because they're brand new and there's been like this change management initiative, but people don't understand it yet. Okay, so there's a difference between people, they understand what they're doing versus like going through the motions. And so when we see like this initial spike in profitability, people are following it to the letter. Like they're not actually, it's sort of like they're doing like a choreographed dance, right? But they're not actually doing it because they understand what it is that they're doing.
They're following the prescription without understanding why or what, in what order and why we're doing it in the first place.
Yeah, and it's one of these things where it works because the system's like so polished, and like, version 1.0 that I give them is actually like version 30.0. It's- it just works. But then when they start like tweaking it and not fully understanding it, and or they've acclimatized, because like 2-3 months of these results is great. Like, imagine like you go from like 10% profit or even negative profit in some cases, now you're at like 35, 40, 45% profit, and you think life's amazing. What's the first people are gonna do? It's like, well, they relax. They're like, that like exhale moment. And in that exhale moment, they relax, and like all the discipline goes out the window. And because they don't understand it, they don't know what the key elements are to keep it going. And guess what happens? The backslide begins, right? And so like it's not that there's like new
By the
holes
way, kind of like
reemerging, right?
another agency, I think it reverts back to what they used to do in the past. So if you were like spending money on hiring people before and we fixed it, what happens next?
Yeah, exactly. So like what happens is that, if people had the bad habits of overhiring, they revert back to their habits of overhiring because they're like, well, look at the profit. We need more people. And it's like, well, no, like we optimized everything for profit. You actually don't need more people. And in fact, hiring people is like the worst idea you could ever have. And so it's reversion back to of the old habits that people have. Like that's really in short what it is. And this is why it's two phases. Like phase one is input the system in place, get the result. The result is then the thing that you use to drive discipline and urgency around the understanding of how the system actually works. And this is where the training comes in. So step one is get thing in place. Step two is train people and make them better through training to actually
Why did
understand how
you
it works.
say why did you say urgency? Because you're like, first is we implement install the system and we use it to create urgency.
Because the urgency is basically the result that the system spits out. Because like for example, like if you're sitting at 5 to 20% profit for the last 2-3 quarters, right, like 6-9 months, all of a sudden you go to 35-40%, like you double profit. And people are going to be like, well, how or why, like how did we do this? And it's like it's the systems. And so that it's like, hey, but you need to understand now that like the systems did this on their own. We can make it our own and make it even better and make it like long lasting. Like it's almost like this initial hit where like it works because it works, but for it to stick for more than 3 or 4 months, they got to learn it inside out and backwards, and that's where the training phase happens. But I think in the examples that like we started talking about where clients leave and then they revert backwards and then they come back and like actually like re-engage, what ends up happening is that they realize that they discontinued, even though I gave them the forewarning of like, hey, like unless we teach your people how to do this, it's not going to stick. They don't believe it because they're like, no, 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 the system carries the day. And like this is what I've been saying more and more of. And like, when like I've been saying this like especially a lot more in recent consultations. I'm like, this is a two-part system. Part one of the system is actually like the processes and the SOPs and like how things are tied together and like the dashboards and like how to manage people, blah, blah. The second part of it is training the managers and the leaders to actually like understand it so that they can help their people understand it so that the entire organization is aligned. So part one is systems, part two is people, because that's all agencies are, systems and people.
Right. I think the missing piece here is like on the first go round, you're the architect and the technician. And then and then if you like release pressure, the whole thing kind of resort to like default mode. And so on the second part is you need to train them to become the technicians without you being like the do this, do this, do this because you're going to get this outcome.
The what I've seen is that the optimal change and like be and this goes for like my own system and what I am like apply, but it also goes for other people like when they're implementing their own stuff, is that you need to almost like you need to do enough change management so that people will play ball with you. And then the second that you get that, you have to rip the band-aid off and get the initiative through as fast as possible to try to get to an initial result. Once you get that initial result, that's what creates the urgency. That's what creates the sticky factor to then be able to tell everybody like, see, I know that like some of you doubted this thing. It's working. Now we all need to get on board because it's working, right? But the problem is that if you do the first pass by waiting for everybody else to hop on board, it's never going to work. Like this is why
Right.
companies aren't democracy. Like a company is not a democracy by
But
definition.
see then the reason why we don't want to let go at that point is the people that are on the fence will say, "Hey, see, I told you it's not working," because now it reverts back to the original state.
And this is why
And
when
that
we relaunch it, it's so much harder because like you're launching the same thing twice, and the resistance that the individuals have is like, well, but we did this and it didn't work. And it's like it did work. Look at the dashboards, look at the income statement, look at the profit, look at like every single number that we have. It was better before. But here's the problem. part of the whole rollout, which like people miss when they like cut this whole thing short and they don't get into the people stuff, is that they don't communicate to people how the things that we did paid off. And this is just like a general commentary on any change. Like most agencies actually have a huge discipline problem that is born from a communication problem. The communication problem is telling people, like, we did this initiative, this was the outcome, and it was good, so we need to keep doing it. That's the communication part. The discipline part is there for, like, hey, remember how I told you that, like, this thing worked? We got to keep at it. But when people don't show the result, guess what happens? Like, well, it's more work for me as a non manager. I don't really know why I'm doing this thing. I don't see any feedback of like, is this working out or not? I'm not getting a pat on the back from like my manager or leadership that's like, hey, like you're doing a good job. So why am I going to keep doing this one thing if it's more work? Like I need some sort of like positive feedback for to happen for me to like have importance around it,
Yeah.
right?
Can you make it more relatable by like giving a specific example without naming names? So this agency
Yeah.
went from 10%, 30%. What did we do? And then like what happened after like we like let go of the control wheels a bit?
Yeah, so I mean, like a prime example I can give you is like one agency kind of, they were doing 30, 35% or not, sorry, 35K profit per month, which is like pretty good, right? Like they were doing a couple hundred grand. So like around 15-ish%. In about 4 months, we got them to like 110 in profit, like 110K profit, like 4 months. So like huge upside, right? Like triple bottom line. A little bit of an increase, primarily driven through like churn mitigation, all this other stuff, right? One of the most major items that we did um, was focus on productivity. So this agency was closing deals, and as they were closing deals, they were just churning a bunch of deals, right? We stemmed that a bit, but what really drove the profit up wasn't just the stemming of the churn itself. It was the fact that people had room, like meaning like people thought that they were full, but they weren't full. Like there was people at 50% capacity, 40% capacity, all this other stuff. And there was no way of actually getting them full because as fast as this agency closed deals, they also like dropped deals. So even if they were like, hey, once we get more work, we'll fill these people up, they couldn't even do that because they weren't retaining enough. So once we started retaining clients, the knee jerk reaction was like, let's go hire people because like we need more people because like we're getting our client count is going up month over month. And I was like, whoa, 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 like inspect the actual productivity report. People have room to do this work. And so when and like this is like people meeting me like with me like every single week, right? And I'm like, they're like, but we need to hire, but we need to hire, but we need to hire. And I'm like, nope, 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 nope. Report says no, report says no, report says no. Plus churn's not going down. I mean, in this specific case, people were time tracking, and we knew that people weren't doing overtime. So like everybody said that they were full, but they weren't doing overtime either. So, okay, so like you're not full, but you're just working harder in your 40 hours. And like at the end of the day, like you work 40 hours a week. So it's fine. And this is what made the profitability go up like that much. It's just like we stopped losing clients, plus we just didn't hire. Costs were frozen in place. So the profitability went up really, really fast. Add in a couple of upsells, etc. Guess what happened though? Right? It's like, great, we got to like 110, 120K per month in profit. Hey, Nick, thank you so much, blah, blah, whatever. I'm like, look, it's like right now, I am the voice that says do not hire. I am the voice that says make sure that this process is still going. I am acting as the central individual that is holding the entire team accountable to the numbers. The onus of the numbers has not yet been transferred to an internal person, which is basically like phase two, which happens anywhere between like 4 to 7 months in, right? And I'm like, I'm in the middle of this now, but like it hasn't stopped because like in these meetings, in these leadership meetings, it's me like holding up the flag, like don't hire, watch your profit, don't spend more money, blah, blah, blah. And I'm waiting for people to say it, and I'm interjecting it because I have to at the end. And so sure enough, the owner goes like, hey, great work. Thank you so much. Here's like, I mean, they gave us a testimonial. It's like a glowing testimonial, right? And and The problem though is that, 2 months later, I like, they reach out to me and they're like, "Hey, like, our profit got cut in half." And it's like, I'm like, "Okay." So, out of pure curiosity, I just, like, look at, like, I'm like, "Hey, I still have access to their stuff because they gave me access again." And I go look at it, it's like, guess what happened? It's like they hired a bunch of people, right? They stopped doing the things that, like, we put into place. Churn went back up again, and it's just like, great. It's like, look, they're still better off than they were when they started, but I'm like, guys, like, you know the answer. Reinstitute, like, the systems. Don't hire people when you don't need to until the report tells you that you need to hire. Like, it's real simple.
Honestly, that's like 50K in lost profit that could have just stayed there. Second is, I honestly think we got to be like, hey, by the way, when you come back to me for the second time, because this will fall apart, we're gonna like either increase the price or charge a percentage of like getting it back to where it used to be. Because I told you this is going to happen.
The thing is that, like, look, it's not like I didn't go down swinging on their first time when they're like, "Hey, we're good now." I'm like, "You're not good." It's like, and here's why. So I'm telling people up front what it is, and like this is why they're coming back, right? Because they're just like, "Hey, we're backsliding." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I told you you would." Like, because look, getting the systems in place is, like, in my opinion, the easy part. Like, look, I mean, we talked about this before, but it's like these systems have taken me well over a decade to kind of like figure out, right? In full, not like any one of them, but like sort of how they all fit together in like really nicely, right? And the majority of the value is in the synergy between the items rather than the items themselves. Getting them in place is like a like maybe 6 month ordeal at maximum, right? It's probably like closer to like 3, 4. The training of the people, that's dependent on how fast people learn, but it's the most important part to make it stick,
And
right?
that's ongoing and that's nuanced, customized. You can't just watch a bunch of videos and go, okay, I'm gonna
No,
go train my people.
no, you can't because like here's the problem. Like if you're trying to like standard education is not going to do it because everybody's mental model around these things is different. So I need to understand what their mindset is and like how they think about the business world and the agency world, reverse engineer how they think, and then add in the missing pieces that they need in order to think about it the right way. I can't superimpose my own way of thinking on top of somebody. I have to slowly steer them into it. But guess what? It's like, look, this is like a tale as old as time. Back in the day, or like if you're like, and if you've ever done any kind of blue collar work, it's like this is the whole like, path to being a journeyman. Like you used to have like a mentor. You'd have to apprentice under like a journeyman to get your ticket. It's normal. By the way, it's not like my knowledge grew on a tree. It's like I was the apprentice, like, I had mentors, I had, like, specific people I reported to that were, like, acted as the journeyman, and I was the apprentice on an executive level. I've just been very lucky that I've had very senior people to teach me this stuff.
So to wrap it up here, what are the two key takeaways?
I think that, like, number 1 is that I don't care what system anybody puts into place, half the time it's not gonna work, or I should say it's gonna work 90 to 100% of the time, except that it won't have staying power. So like this is where people say, you know, it's like if you feel like, hey, I'm the bottleneck, nothing gets done without me. I like without me like looking over people's shoulders, not getting done. Problem one is the system. Problem two is the training the people on how to do it and how to like learn and what the mental model is. And generally what people do is that they write a standard operating procedure and they're like, I'm done. Like that's like takeaway number one. Takeaway number two is the second part, which is if you've written an SOP, if you've, you know, recorded a video of yourself doing the thing and people still don't get it, it's because you haven't taught people how to think about the thing that they're doing. You've maybe taught them the steps, like the how, put right foot in front of left foot, like this is how you walk. But they have not like you have not told them like functionally how to make that happen from like a theory or thinking perspective. This is about getting people to think. It's about systems and enabling people to think the right way.
Got it. We gotta hop.
All right. That's it for today's episode.